Hello there, my name is Niamh. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I upload videos twice a week, every Tuesday and Friday, so you should totally stick around and subscribe. Today's video is going to be all about failure, more importantly dealing with failure, accepting failure, getting through failure. I think we can all say you've more than likely failed at least one thing in your life, whether it be a test in school, an assignment in college. You know, for me personally, that's happened. I have also failed my first driving test. I failed to get into the same graduate program on 2 different occasions. I most recently then, and kind of what sparked this video and kind of what made me want to do this video, I failed to get into a master's that I really wanted to get into. And yeah, it kind of broke me, I'll be honest. I didn't expect it to devastate me as much as it did. There was an interview and there was 2 parts to the interview and I failed both parts, and one I was kind of expecting to fail because I messed it up very badly, but the other one, it was a shock. It was honestly a shock to fail, and it made me question who I even am. And I was like, oh my god, if I failed that as just being me, like what even is anything? And I honestly let it get to me so much, probably for longer than I needed to, and I let it just get me really like numb inside, and I just kind of shut off for a bit, and I was like I came back around, and look, it happened, we've moved on, but I learned some things through it, and I just want to share them with you. If you are maybe dealing with some failure that happened very recently, or if there's something coming up that you have the possibility of failing, obviously I hope you don't fail it, but here are some tips to get you through something you might need in the future, or that you might need right now. So I hope you keep watching and enjoy. The first thing is acceptance is key. You need to accept what has happened. You know, you failed, you did not pass that thing, or you know, you just did not succeed in that thing that you have just failed, and that's that. You can't change it. You really can't. You can't go back and undo what happened. And I think that is honestly one of the hardest things, is to like fully accept in your own mind, okay, I failed that. There's no going back, you know. So acceptance is absolutely the most important thing. You just need to be like, okay, that happened, I can't change it, what now? The second thing, and this is so hard to do, but it's to not overthink what happened. You know, there is absolutely no point in going back and being like, oh my god, I should have done this, I should have said this, I should have wrote this down, why didn't I look in my mirror for one more time, blah blah blah. You know, there's so much you probably could have done in that situation, but you didn't, and there is no point in going back being like, oh my god, if I had said this, maybe then I would have said this instead and they would have blah blah blah. There's no point in doing that. I have spent many nights being, what if I had just said this, or what if I hadn't said it that way, or was it what I wore in the interview, was it this? You know, there's no point in doing that, because you're just going to send yourself into overdrive, and you're just going to get yourself more upset, because again, it happened. You can't change what happened. You can't, yeah, you can plan out the ideal way it could have gone, but you can't go back and change it. So there is really no point in overthinking it. I know it's so hard to not overthink. If you're an overthinker like I am, it's really difficult, but it is very hard not to want to go back and be like, oh, but I could have said this, I should have done this. No, learn from your mistakes, but don't overthink what you could have, should have, would have done. The third thing is, make sure you actually deal with the failure. And I don't think I did initially in those first, maybe like 2 weeks afterwards. I was just like, no, I'm not even talking about it. I'm not. And it wasn't what I needed. I kind of talked about it very briefly with a few people in my life, like the kind of day or 2 after it happened, and then I was just like, no, we're not talking about this. It happened, move on, kind of thing. But I was never actually dealing with what had happened properly. Denial won't help anything. If you're just kind of ignoring it and in denial about the fact that you even need to process it, that's not going to get you any further. You need to actually like process what happened, because you're after failing something, and if you don't process that, you're not going to learn from it. And you know, if you go back and do whatever it is again, if you haven't even dealt with what did happen, odds are you're going to fail it again because you need to deal properly with what is after happening. So kind of on from this one, the next tip I have is just to make sure you talk it out with someone, whether that be with your mom or dad, whoever you live with, a sibling, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend. Just talk it out with someone. Talk it out with multiple people if you can, because the more you talk about it, the more you're accepting it, the more you are processing what happened, you know. It just really helps to talk it out with everything in life, you know. With any kind of struggle in life, you really always should talk about it, but it is very difficult to do. I'm very aware of that. When you're ready, and if you feel you're ready, just say to someone, look, this happened, I think I need to talk about it, I think I need to cry about it, I think I need to scream, shout about it, whatever it is. Don't hold back when you're talking to someone about it. Just let it all out, and I think you will feel better after it. Sometimes you can feel more drained and more like, oh, what the hell, but I think, you know, give it a few days and you'll be like, okay, it's a little bit of a weight off your shoulder and you're gonna be okay. The next tip is don't be afraid to try again, and this is something I'm still trying to deal with myself. I want to go for that master's again because it is what I want to do. It's what I need to do to get to where I want to be in life. I think I said that right. I am terrified to try again because, you know, I failed it once, could fail it again, probably won't fail it again. You know, I'm gonna be in the mindset that next time I'm gonna get it, but I am currently kind of like, I am a little bit afraid to try again, but like I want to try again, you know, and I can't be stopping the fear that I might not get it again stop me, because it's what I want to do. And after failing the first time, now I just know I need to put in a lot more prep. I need to do a lot more work for it to show that I really want this and to show myself that I really want this. So don't let failing once stop you from trying again. Like even with driving tests, like I failed my first one, did not want to take another one at all. It took me 2 years to take my second test after I had failed the first one, because again, I was afraid of driving. I mean, I still don't enjoy driving, but I was like, okay, I can be on my L's for years and years and years, or I can put in the work, I can do some more lessons, I can really practice, go again and try pass it. And I did pass it on the second time. So, you know, just don't let the fear of failure stop you from trying again. You really can't, because otherwise we won't get anywhere in life, because everyone fails at least one thing. If you only fail at one thing, you're doing really well in life, but everyone's gonna fail at something. Lots of people will fail at multiple things, and we can't let that stop us from keeping going and just trying again and again. The next tip I have is to just decide what's next, and that can be nothing. You know, you can decide, no, I'm actually not going to do anything for a while, and I'm honestly kind of on that stage in my life. I'm just going to work away for a while, not think too much about anything, and we'll look into applying again in the future. Or you can decide, okay, you know, fail that and I want to try again straight away. So that's fair enough too. Put in the work, get going, try again, try past whatever that is again, but just decide, like, have a little bit of an idea what's going next. You know, I think you just need to think about what you want going forward, and that can be something completely different, or it can be to try again. But I think it does help to just kind of decide, I'm going to move forward with this thing, or I'm just going to stay put for a little while, you know, whichever suits you best. And the last thing, and I know some people probably won't agree with this, but be in the mindset of everything happens for a reason. Now, I know some people absolutely hate that saying. They're like, no, like, you are in charge of everything. But I kind of think a bit of both. Like, yeah, you go get what you want to go get, and ultimately you are in charge of your own life. But I do believe that, like, the universe has a little bit of kind of guidance in what you're doing, and if you're not meant to get something, it's okay, because there's an underlying reason, and you might not find out that reason for months, for years, but I do think everything happens for a reason. And, you know, timings mightn't suit and you mightn't realize that, but something out there does realize that. I sound so like, ugh. Just think, okay, it wasn't for me right now, maybe, you know, something else is gonna come along, or maybe it's just not the right time. But, you know, whatever you believe in, if you think that's an absolute load of crap, fair enough. Just think maybe there's there's a reason why I didn't get this, or maybe something more is going to come. You never know. That is everything for today's video. I do hope you enjoyed it. These are just some tips that I have kind of given myself after failing something quite recently, and I just wanted to share them, and hopefully someone will, you know, pick up on a few tips themselves and use them yourselves. And yeah, that would be great if you can. Remember, it's absolutely okay to fail over and over, you know, and just keep trying over and over. Life is tough sometimes and it's a bit poop sometimes, but we just gotta keep going, and in the end everything will be okay, and you know, we'll get to wherever we need to get to eventually. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you stuck the whole way through, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you did like this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, and I shall see you when I next see you.